You know, we're gonna pop in. Mondays, I know we go how everybody doing, how everybody has been doing. I know this time has been crazy. I know Drastic, you drive the city bus, so you know, I hope everything's well. I hope you know what I mean, everything you're well. Glad to see you on here. Jazz, you're front line in the hospitals. Got both frontliners, but you know, you're in the hospital. Yes. I'm glad to hear.
Jessica said he's well. Good to hear.
Yeah, so the 5 minutes is on. Let's get this started. We'll just make drastic.
Amalie, thank you for sharing. I see you.
Who?
Amalie.
Oh, she shared?
It. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. So Drastic, you up?
We appreciate it. Oh, sugar, sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Today, you know, we want to just really talk about, you know, let's just get the discussion started. Today, we want to really discuss conflict. And, you know, are you afraid of conflict? And when you hear the word conflict, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Drastic, you have, what's going on, Darrell? What's happening? We thought you was going to be absent today. Nice to see you.
I don't see him yet.
Drastic, your video is not coming up. I mean, let's start the dialogue and then we'll bring people on. So when being in relationships, whether friendships or intimate partnerships, we spend a lot of our time thinking of when to push and when to pull, when to speak, when to listen, and whose emotions are more important in any given moment. And when we look at emotions are a measurement of our beliefs and our convictions. This leads us to the discussion. This leads us to the topic in this discussion today. Feelings should be a factor, but not our decision makers.
Yeah.
So we want to start everybody off with, you know, what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the part emotions play within our relationships?
Or within our decision making?
Yeah, we'll wait for the comments. I sit here and try to get people on.
And as I sit here, still trying to get on Facebook.
So I got Drastic. I'm back. Got the right.
Okay.
Who else raised their hand to be on?
Oh. Drastic looking like Suge Knight back there.
Yeah.
How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing well tonight.
Yes, like good. So before you got on, Drastic said, I believe that emotions influence our decisions, but don't have to be the final say.
Mm-hmm.
And Darrell's, I guess his screen didn't pop up yet.
Oh, so the comments are coming up here, Aziz. Oh, they're going fast though. So Jasmine says something and then Jessica.
Yeah, I seen everything.
Oh, okay.
What did they say?
Well, it came up really fast and then left, so I was trying to be of some assistance here.
Yeah. Jasmine said emotions. Oh, well, you disappeared.
Oh, me?
Yeah, for a little bit.
I'm back.
Jasmine said emotions are often what we as people are led by, which is why a lot of our bad decisions are made. We often allow emotions to override our senses. And then Jessica said, I think emotions control people most of the time. And you got to make a conscious effort to keep them in check, which we agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or we often find ourselves in situations where we can't really articulate why we feel the way that we feel, or why we are making the decision that we are making, because it's based on a feeling. So at that moment, we're feeling a way, but yet we can't really explain it, and we just know that I feel a way. And I know when I'm speaking to people, that doesn't really sit well with me, because you should explain why you feel a way.
Okay,
It shouldn't just be this feeling.
Drastic hit you, definitely. Jessica, are you joining us today? Yeah. I just want everybody on. Okay, so Jessica's not going to be a panelist. Okay, and Jazz will come as soon as she can. So I mean, what do y'all think? I want to give everybody the floor to really have this discussion and really start this dialogue, and give y'all the floor to really discuss this topic.
All right, so I'm trying to remember exactly what you said in the post as you was promoting the discussion for tonight.
Yeah.
I think you said something to the effect of, at what point do we draw the line between making a decision to, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think it has something to do with.
You could paraphrase.
Yeah, when do your principles are more important than your emotions? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think your principles should always be more important than your emotions. You know, because the way I look at it is like, when you're talking about an intimate relationship with a significant other, I could be head over heels in love with a woman, but if that relationship is violating my principles, I'll walk away as if my emotions are not even affected, even though it's tearing me apart inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. I think your principles, especially when they're grounded on, you know, when they're grounded on proper principles, you know what I'm saying? Like they should never be overridden by your emotions. And I know that, and I know that could be easier said than done in some cases, you know what I'm saying? Because emotions can be intense, but
Definitely.
I think it's important to be militant about that your principles should never be overridden by your emotions.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. The thing about emotions is that it's fleeting. Like, I could feel good today, feel like shit tomorrow. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't make decisions based on a short-term feeling. And a lot of times that happens. Or even just like a breakup. Like, there's been times when there was a time where I broke up with someone. We broke up. We were still friends on Facebook. And he was living his best life. Like, he changed his relationship status to single. I was home feeling salty. All these girls was hitting like, you know what I mean? And I knew in that moment I wasn't really feeling it, because I was still mourning the relationship. But I knew that feeling was gonna pass. So I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't delete him on Facebook, because I thought, I only feel like this right now. I'm not gonna feel like this forever. And then as days went on, this feeling subsided, and it wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? So I think that when you allow your feelings to dictate your decisions, it could put you in a position where you may have to backtrack. So I think that's when you have principles in place, that helps you keep them in line.
Definitely. And I also want to say that one thing that I like about Love is a Group Journey, which I represent as a brand, I like that you have a belief system. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that that's the beginning of having success. You know what I'm saying? So many people are just shooting in the dark, hoping to hit a target, but you guys at least have a belief system that, you know what I'm saying, maps out and outlines what direction you want to go in, because you're taking the time to define certain things, what it exactly means, articulately, and I believe that's half the battle right there. You know what I'm saying? Having a belief system in place.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica Major,
Yeah, we appreciate
for
it.
the compliment.
No.
Definitely appreciate it. I mean, what about you, Darrell?
So I kind of hopped in right in the middle of the segment. Something was wrong with my computer, so I hopped in right when you was talking about the topic. So if y'all don't mind, can you kind of go over what the topic was, and then I'll begin to chime in.
Well, the statement we made was feelings should be a factor, but not our decision makers. So we just started a dialogue through that.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts about that? You know, some people, like I said earlier, some people make decisions based on how they feel, not based on a principle. If they wake up feeling a way today, then they make a decision based on that. So what are your thoughts on that?
So my feeling, you know, as far as that is, I mean, you can't always make decisions based on your emotions. You can't just do that, especially with relationships. You know what I'm saying? You can't make, you know, drastic, crazy, you know, choices and decisions just based on how you're feeling at the moment. I think you got to analyze what's going on. I think you need to, you know, sit down, think about what's going on before you make a drastic decision. You can't just act on emotion because that can hurt the relationship. I've actually done that before, so I'm speaking from experience.
And when you realized that you made that decision based on feelings, how did you go back and apologize for that, or you just kind of took it as I won't do this again and kept it moving?
Yeah. So I mean, so when you do that, you kind of, because at the end of the day, you make that decision, and you always, like, you're gonna have to go back and apologize. You're gonna have to, like, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to go back and reconcile that relationship because you made a decision based on your feelings at the time. Feelings change. Feelings go up. Feelings go down. You know, you might feel this way, feel that way, so you can't always base it on how you feel at the moment. You have to analyze the situation and make a proper decision logically. I think when you react too fast, which, I mean, I'm sure we all been a part of it before, but when you react out of emotion, you're always left with, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. Now you gotta go back and reconcile. When if you took the time to actually analyze the situation, a better decision could have been made.
Definitely, you always gotta backtrack. How you doing, Yamale?
Hi.
Miss John. How's everything? I just wanted to give her a shout out, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying 100%. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest problems that we need to solve within relationships, because we are definitely always taught to not just factor in emotions, but to allow the emotions to dictate the relationship. So based on your principles, I mean, if you was raised as a male in a certain society or a certain time and time frame, you know, you were taught that the woman's emotions supersede yours. You know what I mean? So when you enter in a relationship, you're a little nervous about entering that relationship, or you're a little apprehensive because you feel a little handcuffed because, you know, something can be dead wrong, but you still are taught to factor in that emotion when it comes to dealing with a woman. And then with women, they're taught to stroke a male's ego, which is also an emotional component because it does stroke our emotional side. So when they come in, they're like, you know, I don't want to push them away. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to put emotions on. I don't want to put my emotions out there because I'm a little nervous that it might not be reciprocated. And, you know, there's a certain understanding of how we all believe things should be done based on the emotions. But when do we factor in the person? You know? And what's up, Joe?
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, he wants to be the panelist, so we bring him on.
Yeah.
No problem with that.
Joe, aka Kevin, is that the same?
Yeah.
So from a male perspective, I don't know how y'all were raised, but as far as talking about emotions and women, you know what I mean? I was always raised, men don't cry. You know what I'm saying? Men, you hold your emotions in. Men, you gotta be strong. Men, you gotta be the head of the household. You can't show your emotion. You gotta be strong for everybody. And, you know, now that I'm in education, I feel like that's wrong. Because I feel like you take that into, so me being 35 years of age, and I'm taking that background into relationships where I'm not expressing myself as much, where I'm not, you know, letting people know how I'm really feeling inside, and you're letting it ball up, and then you explode, which is what you don't want to do. So I mean, so I'm looking at it from a couple different perspectives of keeping that stuff in and not expressing it. But that's just the way I was taught growing up. Now, me being older, I'm doing a better job of opening myself up more. But that's just how I was taught for so long. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's just me. That's how I was raised.
So when you say that you bottle stuff up, do you mean like you wouldn't speak up for yourself on things that bother you? Like you wouldn't be assertive in certain areas?
No, not in that aspect. Meaning, something tragic happens, a death happens, you show no emotion. Something's going wrong, something's crazy, you showing no emotion. But what I've learned is that when you're in a relationship and something is bothering you, and the woman might be pulling her heart out, she might be crying. There was a point in my life where, since I was taught growing up, tears make me upset. So if she's crying and she's being expressive and she's telling me what's going on and I'm wondering why she's crying, I was taught for so many years that you weren't supposed to cry. So why are you crying? So at some point, tears make me upset. You know what I'm saying? But I'm different now. But I'm just being real. That's how it was for me. Tears made me upset. So why are you upset? Why are you crying? So the more you're crying, the more upset I'm getting because you keep crying.
So were you taught something else, Jostic?
I think that's pretty much like a blanket policy when it comes to males in our Western culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Men don't cry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like man up. Like you've heard all of the cliches, so I definitely could agree with it on that aspect. But I never approached it on the same perspective as him, as far as like getting upset because a woman is crying. You know what I mean? Because we also, in the same light, have been taught that women are allowed to express their emotions. Just like Aziz said earlier, we've heard all of the, you know what I'm saying, when he said like we put priority on a woman's emotions. Like we've heard those cliches, happy wife, happy life, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the goal is to make sure that the woman is happy without taking into consideration how the man feels and how it affects the dynamic of the relationship as a whole. So I never approached it from the aspect of feeling upset because a woman was crying, but I always did feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, as a man, you ain't supposed to be crying, especially over small things. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, somebody close to you die or something like that. Yeah, that's when you get the pass. But, on a day-to-day basis, as a man, you don't cry.
That was something like, to add on, that was something that, like, Jasmine kind of was saying, how it's a faith that's bigger than us. So when you're in a relationship, the success of a relationship is based on what we believe in, the faith of what we believe in, things of that nature. Jessica added basically that, if you sit back and you reflect on the overall relationship and see the two people, basically she's saying to see the two people inside the relationship. And if you constantly have a negative emotion, then you really got to look at how you're going to respond to that person, regardless of what they do. So I do think we were taught that, and going back to what Darrell was saying, like there is a time when you're upset that a woman's crying, based on the fact that it's hard for you to express that you feel manipulated, because she may be crying because she did something wrong. And it's like, this is my time to be expressive. This is my time to basically let you know what's going on with me. And now you're crying, and now we got to deal with your emotions yet again. This is my time to be emotional. This is my time to be clear on things. And I'm sure women on the other end feel like, why do I always gotta cater this man understanding? Like a man has to be a man, and he doesn't feel like a man. And how do you not make him feel like a man when they are strong in their views and they're strong in their convictions and they actually speak up, and they're met with silence and distance and walking away and shutting down? So I think the overall point was, yeah, we factor in emotions because we're trying to really gain a great understanding of when to express these emotions. When do emotions factor in? And I would say emotions is just like honesty. They're connected. It starts the dialogue. It's not about it being right. It's about that's how you feel, and let's dissect that. And when you have a partner, it's a partnership. So you have to look at them as equal. So yeah, we were as men raised in a certain way. We were as women in our culture, we were raised a certain way. But how do we break that cycle where we're starting to have healthy relationships? Because
Well,
it's
I
not
think
just a male and female relationships. There's gay relationships. There's friendships, male on male. And the more sensitive man tends to dominate the emotional part of the relationship as well. You get what I'm saying? So how could we now factor in principle to lead us versus just always factor in emotions or
well,
having
I think it's
emotions the main factor? Go
well, no, sorry. I think it starts with understanding that no one can make you feel less than yourself. You know what I mean? So when dealing with the man, and I have a strong personality, and I do believe that within the relationship, everyone should have a role that makes sense for their strengths, right? So I think that if I'm not going to tiptoe around a man so that he could just feel manly. Like, I'm not doing that. And I need to be with a man who's going to understand that. But if he feels like less than a man, that's on him. I can't make him feel less than what he feels about himself. And same for me. Like, nobody can make me feel less than what I feel about myself. So if I'm speaking to someone and and they say something that strikes a chord, it's because I was already feeling that way about myself anyway. So I think that it starts there. I think if everyone just took a second to think about what they feel about themselves, what their insecurities are, and deal with that instead of putting it on other people and having other people tiptoeing around their insecurities, I think that people will have a healthier connection. So I think it starts with that.
what's going on,
So I
Kevin?
think
So what
that
you
it
think?
starts there. I think if everyone just took a second to think
Big
about
Joe, what up?
what they feel about
What's going on, Dre?
what their insecurities
How
are,
you?
What's on, guys?
putting it on other
Hi.
What's good, homie?
people tiptoeing around their insecurities.
Somebody else talk? Oh, is that Jerry duplicated or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
don't know
me.
where that's coming from.
Yeah,
Who's
that was
that?
coming from the Facebook.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Because I just now seen Kevin, you was on the Facebook Live. And so
Yes.
Mahogany, what's going on, Mahogany? I see you.
hi.
Oh, she wants the Zoom link. Okay, she couldn't get on, so let me send her the Zoom link. But go ahead, Kevin. We want to hear your side.
Well, as far as emotions concerned, I have emotions. I cry with my wife, cries with me. We cry with each other.
Mm.
I think it's the love that we have for each other because we care for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Between health issues and any issues that we might be facing, she is my backbone. She is my backbone. Last week she wasn't here, but she's sitting next to me right now.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
That's
hello.
dope.
Joy.
Hey, Mrs. Falou.
It's just emotions. Listen. When I cry, I cry. It is what it is, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. I truly don't. It makes me feel better as a person.
So I wanted to just kind of respond to what he just said. Now that I'm a little bit different, I agree with you. I mean, so I think that's a beautiful thing. So I was just stating, growing up, I was told something different, but now that I'm a little older, I mean, that's the kind of stuff you have to get out. That's the kind of stuff that leads you to do things that, you don't want to do. You have to get that emotion out. So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so the link is in in our chat on Facebook. So if anybody wants to join, they can.
I just wanted to
Go
my
ahead.
bad, I don't mean to cut. I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to chime in on something that Jerry has said as far as like nobody can make you feel a certain way. I definitely agree with you on that, especially when you're confident on who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you understand your identity. At the same breath, I do believe that sometimes people try to present frames. You know what I'm saying? Like you got all of these memes that say like a real man would do this, a real man would do that. You know what I'm saying? On Facebook and stuff like that, and Instagram and all of that. And I think there's a certain level of people that actually operate with that mentality from both sexes. You know what I'm saying? Like they might. It's kind of hard for me to articulate what I'm trying to say, but like you being a strong woman, you might have a man that would speak to you in a way that would frame you as being too masculine. You know what I'm saying? Like do you feel I don't know if I'm articulating it properly, but do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I
Like
understand
sometimes
what you're
people
saying.
might like what are your feelings on that? Like when you're dealing with a personal relationship where a person's trying to set frames that are not necessarily accurate.
Well, it starts with us having the same, believing in the same ideal of what a man and a woman, their roles in a relationship. So it starts there. So when I'm meeting a guy that I'm really interested in, those are the discussions that we have up front. So if he believes that a woman should be a certain way and maybe she should not be as vocal, and maybe, you see it a lot, like those same memes where men are like, I worked hard, I just want to come home and not argue. You know what I mean? I just want to come home to a hot meal. I just want to, like, I stay away from those guys because that's not the type of guy for me. Because if we have things to discuss, and I want you to prioritize our relationship so we can have those discussions until we get it right. You know what I mean? So it starts with a conversation up front. It's everyone being honest about what they want within a relationship, what they believe in, and it starts there. And if I meet a guy who believes those things, then we just can't go beyond the friendship, or maybe not even be friends, depending on how cool, what other things we have in common, because there's certain things that he believes that I don't believe, or I believe that he doesn't believe, and that's okay. So I think it starts there. Like, I think more people need to have those discussions up front, because I'm very outspoken. So when I meet people, I put that out there because I want them to understand who I am and to buy in. If they don't, I don't want to be tolerated. So they have to buy in. They have to embrace me. They have to appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be with a guy who thinks that it's all good for 10 seconds. And then after a while, it's like, you talk too much. You always have something to say and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Where I'm being tolerated. So there's certain things that I ask in the beginning, because it can be a red flag for me. So I do think that if more people had those discussions and were honest up front and got past the, oh, I'm really attracted to her, oh, I'm sexually attracted to her, oh, I want to have sex with so and so. If they started to have those real discussions up front, then people could avoid a whole bunch of heartache, time spent being with somebody or trying to get to know somebody that's not going to go anywhere.
Definitely.
Response.
Before you respond, let me say what's up to Mahogany. And
Hey, Mahogany.
Yeah,
Hi, Mahogany.
Hey, what's up, Mahogany?
oh, she's ready to be a panelist.
Jerry, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you. But that's my biggest thing. Like, my biggest thing is I never want to just be tolerated.
Yeah.
So in order for me not to be tolerated, I have to be with somebody or have friends that are all in and appreciate my strengths and not use it against me.
Cool.
Because I do believe that me being outspoken, me being assertive is a strength, is not a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that tries to muffle me is not a person for me.
Yeah, the queen agrees.
So drastic.
Queen agrees from Facebook. She agrees.
Yeah, drastic. So
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
my question to you, maybe it wasn't you that asked this. You said you were talking about a man feeling that he was real. What is a real man? What is a real woman?
Mm.
You know, who's dominant? You know, who's the person that's going to take control? Should be 0, should be 1 and 1, which makes 2. You know, my wife loves to cook for me. You know, she cook her butt off. Okay, when I come home, she has a meal waiting for me. If I'm not working and she comes home, there's a meal for her and a meal for our kids. You know, we work it together. So the statement of being a real man and a real woman comes to those guys or girls that just want to try to, I feel that want to take control of the relationship.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, if you can't split it 50-50, then don't split it. You know,
Yeah, what I was referring to when I said a real man does such and such, there's a lot of comic.
You froze, drastic.
Drastic froze.
Yeah.
I thought it was me again. Like, damn it.
It is you.
No.
Yeah,
but I guess he froze. But I'm gonna
do this. A real man would put his
okay,
coat over
ahead.
a puddle for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do that, you're not a real man. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. But I definitely agree with you. I feel that whoever should dominate and control in a relationship, that it depends on the area where that person has a strength in. You know what I'm saying? If
Abs-
if you got a strength on cooking, or your wife got a strength on cooking, that person should hold fort down in the kitchen, because that's your strength. Whoever got the strength on handling money, you know what I'm saying? They got a vision for getting your credit right, and increasing the family's finances, and getting you guys to establish more wealth and more assets and stuff like that. That person should be in charge of the finances, so on and so forth. Whoever got a strength in a particular area, in my opinion, that should be the one that dominates that area.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also has to, but it also has to be
I'm on
discussed
mute,
too.
Mahogany.
So it's one, like, so I can't be resentful because my man is manning the finances, and I can't feel like, damn, like I'm slow, or I'm not really that smart because I can't manage the money. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be something that has to be discussed between both people, and they both have to agree that one person's better than the other and buy into that. Because a lot of times,
Yeah.
again, we buy into things that sound good in the moment, and I've done it, so it sounds good in the moment, but it's really because I can't think of a better solution. So I buy in because it sounds good, and I don't want to let and I don't want to let my emotions take over. So it's like, yeah, you know, it sounds good, but then I don't really buy into it, because I really don't think that, although I'm maybe insecure in that area, I may think that, you know, damn, like, what 40-year-old woman can't manage their own money? You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that it's really important that two people have that conversation on who's better at it. It doesn't mean that you're bad, and maybe you are, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're terrible at it. It just means that the other person's better at it. So it comes across as if it's effortless, as opposed to you managing the money or chefing up a meal. If I could chef up a meal way faster and a lot better than you can, then why not? You know what I mean? So it's really key to have that dialogue and have that conversation, because again, people buy into things, and yes, we're all adults, and if I say I'm going to do it, if I say I'm okay with it, then that should be my word, and we should move on, right? But sometimes that's not the case. People kind of fall into this dance of, you know, people taking on certain responsibilities without talking about it, but it needs to be talked about.
See, I feel like so drastic. So I feel what you're saying as far as if a person is better at this, then that person should take control of that. And then I feel what Jerry's feeling as far as that should be discussed up front. From my experience, I think you fall into a trap, or you fall into conflict, bad conflict, when one person is doing way more than the other person. Meaning, all right, you're good at the money. Are you good at cooking? Are you good at cleaning? Are you good at this? You good at that? And the one person is just not contributing. I think that's when you fall into conflict. So I definitely think that you should discuss that kind of stuff up front.
Definitely. I wanna go back to what Joe was saying, as in regards to like, we're teachers of relationships. So we have these discussions, we want to really educate, we want to really inform. And having information means defining your terms. So I think you can say somebody's a like, quote unquote, real man or real woman. When you define that term, you're trying to establish the groundwork for what is expected of a man that actually is going to live a lifestyle of a man that's graduating to adulthood. And you actually want to have the foundation of a woman who actually graduates into adulthood. Now we have all these other things that go on that we're like, okay, you're a woman if you cook. Like, they attach roles to it, which is different.
Mm-hmm.
But it does deal with the principles and what's expected in certain things when it comes to genetics, when it comes to why you're attracted to the opposite sex, why you're attracted to the same sex, why, you know, you have to have those understandings, and being a man establishes that. So I think that question allows people to really understand and ask themselves, what is a real man? What does it mean to be a real man? What does it mean to be a real woman? And I think it starts with identifying, I'm a man. What does it mean to be a real man? So I think you made a great point. Am I ego driven? Is that what a man is? Am I all physical attributes? Is that what a man is? When you define what a man is, what you're going to do, you're going to teach your son that same understanding of what a man is, because you believe that's going to advance your son in life and in his relationships, right? When a woman defines who she is, a quote unquote real woman, when she has a clear understanding of what it takes to be a upstanding woman, because that's what they really want to say. A progressive woman, that's what they really want to say. They're going to teach their daughters, this is what it takes to actually be successful in this life and in this relationship and things of that nature. So we think it's important to define your terms, but what goes wrong is a lot of people define these things purely on things that are like they are controlling. So it's like, oh, I'm a man because I'm the physical dominant force. So then it becomes a bullying thing. So when the woman shows she can beat the man, now is she the man? You get what I'm saying? So this is where it gets to this weird place. What defines, we do need to search for what defines a man so we can start educating and teaching our men, our boys to grow into men. And we really have to understand and identify what defines a woman. And going back to our topics, we all have emotions. Mm-hmm. We all have emotions. So we got to stop putting the emotion on it's an all woman thing. Or in this aspect, it's an all man thing. We all share the emotions. So we got to decide through our principles and through our beliefs and through our relationships, when is it time to actually factor in the emotional aspect and when it's time to disregard the emotional aspect and move forward in a progressive way, in a more logical way. And I think that's what we have to start juggling with. But Mahogany, I see your mute is off, so do your thing.
I just wanted to piggyback what you said, because I think defining terms across the board is what's necessary. Like the reason why many believe that it's just like emotion is a woman thing is because they haven't defined what emotion is. Definitely. Right? So everyone thinks emotion is just crying or and stuff like that. When men show more emotion than women majority of the time. Your reactions are just different. Men and women react different to emotion, but all of us are showing emotion.
Yeah, anger is an emotion.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, I definitely felt that.
Oh, Mahogany, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, now we can.
Okay.
Did I have my hand over the speaker?
Oh.
Can you hear me clear now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry about that.
I mean, to add to what she's saying, like we have emotions taped to our cabinet. So our 2-year-old can show us every day. How you feeling? What's your emotions? What emotions you have? What are you feeling? Being emotionally intelligent is the best gift you can give people. Mm-hmm. Right? So we define being human as being emotional. When they see a person that's emotionally intelligent, they tend to think that they're not human because they factor in the emotion. They're able to take in the emotion and display it in such a positive and healthy way that it's harder for people to really identify with that person. But truly what being human is our ability to be reason and find reason and evidence. So once you have a clear understanding, you're going to process things a lot quicker than other people. But therefore, it makes you a teacher. We're a teacher of life. You get what I'm saying? We're teachers of life. So once you have an understanding, what makes you human is being a teacher of life. Not I make mistakes, but I made a mistake and I'm willing to now do what's possible to correct that mistake. That's what makes us human. The mistakes are like more impulses. That's what makes us animals. That's what makes us mammals. We actually rack on the impulses, just quick thought. What makes us human is our ability to see 10 moves ahead after you make those mistakes. And it is identifying that emotion, identifying how you're making somebody feel. Because we all have seen it or been a part of it, where the person cheats on us and they crying. And you like, wait up, they done stole your thunder and you cheated on me. They use the emotion as a weapon versus the emotional intelligent thing to do is suck up your emotion, taking what's going on. And if you truly want to repair the relationship, you have to first identify that you did something wrong, right? They say, I cheated because you wasn't paying me no attention.
I cheated because I was just selfish.
Yeah, because you had no integrity.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Does the ends fit the means? And I mean, everybody's been in relationships where they're like, yo, I really care about this person, but
this ain't it.
I'm tired of them. So, it's very easy when somebody is at your job, feeding you information, being nice to you, being everything that partner isn't. And it's easy to drift off into that understanding, right? A lot of the cheating, unless you plan it, is something that happens over time. It's something that they catch you at the right time, at the right moment, and you actually just veer off, right? But at the end of the day, you got to think of the repercussions. And doing that is not being in your emotions. You see the emotions, every time we go back to emotions, it's a momentary thing. It's where you at that present state. It's not thinking of the future. Conviction allows you to think of the future. Your principles allow you to think of the future. Do I have enough integrity not to step out on my partner, even though I'm having feelings for this person? Do I have the integrity to actually walk up to my partner and have that real discussion with them? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where we have to really figure out where emotions factor in. And our whole thing is becoming emotionally intelligent. Identifying your emotions, getting a great understanding of your emotions.
And also to add to that, not feeling entitled with the emotion. So I think that's another thing too. Like, we meet a lot of people, and I've done it before, where I feel a way and I want to hold on to that feeling, and no one can change that feeling. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. I feel a certain way, so everyone has to understand that. And I think that that's another thing that we should touch on as well. Like, how do you feel about either you being the person that feels like they're entitled to their feelings, or being around other people that believe that they're entitled to their feelings? Like, how do you maneuver in those spaces? Because I think that that's important as well. As soon as somebody starts talking feeling, you can't argue feeling. Like, what do you do? I know sometimes, like, if somebody is leading in that way, I kind of take a second and step back thinking, like, what's going to be my next move? Because I can't say, hey, you shouldn't feel that way, because it's their feelings, right? So, like, what do you do? So,
well, yeah, I feel like,
go ahead, you can go.
I feel like everyone is entitled to their feelings.
Yeah.
But being entitled to your feelings doesn't change the fact that you gotta understand that whoever you're dealing with is entitled to respond to those feelings or have their feelings about those feelings. You know what I mean? Like, you can still, I can feel all types of things, right? And you're correct. Like, you can't tell me not to feel what I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. It's what I feel. However, I can't tell you that your response to those feelings is wrong either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're like, oh, I feel like and somebody, let me stop talking in my language for Ozzy skip me. All right. You'd be like,
right now.
You know, I feel like okay, let's bring a real situation in, like the conversation that we all had, right? In regard to how I felt about someone dealing with me in a certain way, right? It was a feeling. You can't negate the feeling, but now what came from that feeling, my response to that feeling, made the other person feel away, right? Because it said something about their character. So now I can't be mad that you feel like I came for your character. I have to think about how I respond to my feelings in order, you know what I mean, in order for that to navigate a little differently.
Well, the reason why I brought up the entitlement, because a lot of people that I came across, when the minute that they say that I'm entitled to my own feeling, they're putting up a wall, they're shutting down, they don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's a defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism, and
is what it is.
It's emotional.
Would it say that one more time?
Emotional
blackmail.
Agreed. So that's where I want to go at with the entitlement, because once someone says that to me, I already know they shut down the studio. So I already know that they don't want to really go any further than that. And I know that, you know, when things get heightened and you may be in your feelings, that sometimes you may need a second or two, or maybe a day or two, to kind of really think about what's going to be your next move. But I do think that we all have a responsibility to each other. So how much time do you give a person that is entitled to their feelings, shut the whole situation down, and how do you continue to connect with a person that way?
That's an excellent question.
Okay, let's just put things in perspective. Everybody has a right to their feelings. Everybody has a right to express their feelings. You don't have a right to that feeling. You have to identify what the feeling means. So entitlement is having the right to certain benefits or privileges. It's an earned thing. So y'all gotta understand, when people say entitlement, it's something you earn. It's not something you're born with. The right, you are born with certain rights. That's already embedded in the way we should socialize. So we always use entitlement. And everybody that says that I've ever heard, they're trying to justify their actual emotions over logic.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard anybody use that when they're trying to progress in any form of fashion.
What do you mean? I feel?
No, I'm entitled to
Entitled.
Oh, okay.
I'm entitled to my feelings as a defense mechanism. And everybody feels it when it's being said to them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows when they have the greatest point, and then that person says, yo, I'm entitled to my feelings, though. How do you combat that?
I don't find
I think-
anything wrong with entitled to your feelings, but like I said, I believe that we are all entitled to our feelings. I don't believe that we are entitled to feeling as though our feelings and how we respond to our feelings don't have repercussions, because they do.
Right. I mean, so I feel you feel how like we all entitled to our feelings, but just because you feel a certain way don't mean I gotta agree with you.
So I feel that you're a smug human being, right?
Cool.
How am I entitled to that? How did I come to that benefit or that privilege?
What is a smug?
Well, you are.
What that is? What does that mean?
Smug. I don't
I
really
feel
feel
like
that way about you. I'm saying if I said that.
No. I'm just trying to say what is a
It means
smug?
that you stuffy. You don't want to hear nobody else's views, nobody else's opinions.
Okay.
You're a smug human being, right? I'm entitled to that. How did I come to that determination?
That's the next question. That's how you combat
Yeah,
that.
that's a discussion. That's the discussion.
I
around
know,
that
but that's what I'm saying. The entitlement means that you actually had a privilege. Like, I now worked overtime, entitled to pay. Entitlement is a relationship. It's something earned. I want y'all to really look at the word. Because right now we're going off of feelings. We're not going off of the health of a relationship. So we were taught unhealthy things and unhealthy language, and we just use it willy-nilly.
So you basically you didn't say
You have the right to voice your opinion about how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not be lazy. Let's say what it is. I have the right to voice my opinion about how I feel and start the dialogue. But I'm entitled already means that I earned that feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, but they might be correct though.
I'm not talking in terms of entitlement. I wasn't talking. I was talking about having the right to having.
That's what I was trying to correct the language, because I don't want everybody like, you have the right to feel. You have the right to express that feeling. You don't even have the right to feel what you're feeling, because you don't even know what you're feeling is accurate.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, but I believe that's where the discussion comes into place though, because it's possible that person actually did earn the right to feel that way. You just haven't yet determined whether that's the case or not. That's the beginning of the conversation. I'm entitled to my opinion. I believe that you're smug, using your example.
Mm-hmm.
So now the discussion begins.
Definitely.
What makes you believe that? What makes you feel? What makes you believe that I'm smug? How did you come to that conclusion? And that's, you know what I'm saying, if that person's willing to engage with that conversation, now you can have some dialogue and actually gain an understanding from each other's perspective. If not, now that person's being lazy and you can't go forward. You know what I'm saying? But you do your part by asking them, how did they come to that conclusion?
I agree. It starts a dialogue, right? But I want you to look at what entitlement means. Entitlement means it's already something earned. So you're not even having dialogue. I saved the country. I'm entitled to a medal of honor. You already established it. There's no discussion being had. When they don't pay you your paycheck for working overtime, you walking in the office, there's no discussion. You're already entitled to it.
Mm-hmm.
As a defining evidence on why you're not entitled until you, like what you said, until you identify, you break down why the person's smug, and they clearly can see why they're smug. And now it's like, now I'm entitled to calling you smug because I earned it. I broke it down. You're only entitled to things that you earn, and you earn through work. You earn through putting in the work. You can't just walk in a relationship and say, yo, I'm entitled to a good woman without being a great man. That doesn't make sense. But people say that, And I hear people say that to people that are horrible people.
Yeah.
Know you're a horrible person.
That's
And
tough.
they'll be like, yo, you deserve somebody great. And you know me.
You're not
being-
even great.
I'm like, how you figure? But entitlement is used across the board. How is that person entitled when they didn't even earn that title of being great themselves?
So we all have our own opinion. So what should we say in order to state that? You have an opinion, I have an opinion. So I get what you're saying. We shouldn't use the word entitlement, right?
Definitely.
We're not entitled to say this. We're not entitled to stay that because to your opinion, you didn't earn that, right? So how should we restate that? How should we tell someone, listen, I have a right to my opinion. I'm going
I
to
don't
express
think
my
you ever
opinion.
should have to say that because that's already known. It's already known. Like you feel what you feel. That's why you hold in the discussion.
Mhm.
Anytime you have somebody's repeating something that's obvious, they're in that state of defense, and they're in that state, like they already think you're not listening. They already think you don't understand what they're saying. Think of all the times you said it, because I know all the times I've said it. I really thought the person couldn't hear me.
Same.
Person didn't understand. I was already in defense mode. Now, whether I had the right to be in defense mode or whether I was accurate, I'm still defending myself. I'm still defending my point of view. But how would you say that? We all have opinions. That's a guarantee. But how you dealing in a relationship that's a fact? Two people working together, working towards one destination. How you dealing with the fact that y'all are trying to be a couple, and you're just letting them have opinions that aren't founded?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, that.
Okay, I got
that.
How is that healthy?
Well, while everyone thinks about that and that sinks in, whoever didn't share the Facebook Live, take a minute and share the Facebook Live, because this is a good discussion, and we want more people to be able to take in the discussion, join in. So if you guys already didn't do it, share the Facebook Live feed.
I mean,
So
from Aziz's point of view, just I've been saying that for years, and now I'm thinking about how I'm saying it, like as far as using the word entitlement, as far as stating an opinion. I just never thought about it like that. To your point, yes, it's obvious that we all can make our own opinions, but the word entitlement.
It's emotional warfare. It gives people the right to say what they want to say. Like we clearly, everybody who's seen our journey, they know the different things we've been through, right? So we used to have a group. Drastic was with us from the beginning. So we used to have a group. And we used to sit there and talk to people all the time, have discussions. And once we made, because we this is what we do. So it's hard to compete with an expert in their field, and you're coming in a novice. But when it comes to relationships, everybody has an opinion. Even if they're in unhealthy relationships all the time, they still telling you how relationships should be run, right? So we're sitting back and we're like, yo, friends have value. Like what separates a friend from an associate from a stranger? Like you use words because there's levels to the words. That's a fact. Can we all agree on that?
Absolutely.
People that was saying, yo, well, it's different how friendships work and all that stuff. And we'll get into back and forth with people. And it really hurt our brand based on the fact that we just want to educate, we just want to inform, and we want to have progressive discussions. But now when we start becoming Hitler, that's how they felt. You see what I'm saying? They went off of how they feel, and we're going off of education. We was literally hot copy and pasting definitions, and we was doing the research and actually showing them what was going on, explaining to them. Like we really wanted to educate them, but all they wanted to see at the time was like they wanted to be validated, which is connected with the feelings. How do you join a relationship to be validated as opposed to advancing each other? And that's a question you need to ask yourself. I'm not going to any relationship to validate my worth. My worth is already there before I enter it. I'm going to
But that goes back to what I said about
advance that person, and that person could advance me. That's what separates a stranger, an associate. When you meet people that you know is in your best interest and will advance you, and you have something to offer their life, not just they offer you something, that's a relationship. That's a healthy relationship.
And a lot of people don't see it that way, even though you're accurate in what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people will separate and distinctive. Like there's a lot of similarities between your platonic friend and your spouse, but a lot of people don't see it that way. It's like, I'm pretty sure some of y'all have been dating someone casually. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you've even been intimate with them, but you didn't take it to the next level yet. And then when you actually start, your feelings get involved and you express that to that person, now they feel entitled to deal with you on a different level. You know what I'm saying? They feel entitled to check you and question you on stuff that they never would have felt comfortable even being assertive in that area before. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like the dynamic changed once more emotions got involved. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that the mass majority of people believe that there's certain levels of entitlement associated with certain titles. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's the entitlement with the emotion, like you're entitled to your emotions. So I can be dating a woman, and I'm literally just straight with her. Like, I'm never gonna be with you. I'm dating you because you're somebody that I'm attracted to. You're somebody that I want to be physical with. I mean, this was more how I was early in my life. You know what I mean? When we was talking about me being scared of relationships, and I used to just tell them straight up, I'm not gonna be in a committed relationship with you or with the next person. I'm gonna be dating everybody. Whoever I want to date, I'm gonna date. Now, nothing's more straight than that, right? But once the feelings came about, it superseded all that. Back to what you're saying.
Absolutely.
So now I became the horrible human being when I told him straight up what it was. I became the manipulator. I became the mean person. I became all these things because you decided to not deal with what was going on, and you decided to find in me what you should have found in another man that wanted the same things you wanted. So now a lot of our political, and it's getting bad because our world is really reacting off of feeling, and you can't quantify feeling.
No.
You can't quantify it.
Drastic. What you were talking about, everything that you were saying, I truly believe in. We work in that atmosphere. For those that don't know, we work together, and it's kind of hard to choose who's a friend and who's an associate, and who's fake and who's phony. It's just a rough situation. That's why I keep it home. And I keep it home. Don't take it anywhere else. I don't take it to the left, to the right. You gotta keep it home.
Why it's hard?
Yeah.
You know, excuse me?
I said, why it's hard to differentiate?
It's a rough world out here. You know, we're dealing with this virus, and before we're dealing with virus, we're dealing with people just being dishonest in both friendship and relationships. They're quick to pick up that axe and hit you in the back with it after they finish talking to you, like everything was all good, and it's not all good. I have a therapeutic definition of a pull-up is making a person aware of their negative behavior and at the same time reinforcing yourself. I believe in the reinforcement part because like I said, they will stab you in the back. They'll slap you in the face. They'll spit you in the face.
I think we all have had experiences with people who weren't on the up and up. But at some point, don't you get to a place where you can see who's who and what's what prior to those things happening?
Absolutely. And that's why I keep it home. That's what, like I said, I don't go to the left or the right. I keep it home. I trust what I have in my house. That both be, my spouse and my kids, of course, mom, dad, sisters and brothers, I do trust them 100%. And, I try not to bring it outside because, like I said, you will get stabbed. You will get stabbed. I've seen it just too many times. Drastic, I'm sure you agree. We've seen it too many times, and it's devastating. You put your heart into a friendship and then slap that easy.
Yeah.
Have you defined terms in your friendships?
Say that one more time.
Have you defined terms in your friendships the same way we speaking of defining terms with relationships? Have you?
Absolutely. Drastic and I, we will sit at a table at our job, for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I have nothing negative to say about him. If I've ever had anything negative to say about him, I say it to his face, and he knows that.
Yeah.
It's
Vice versa.
it's just rough.
I think this is a bigger issue. This goes back to what we was, it comes back to the topic all the time. The topic was emotion should be a factor, not a decision maker.
Yes.
So faith should be your decision maker, right? So what you're saying is this, it's rough. Yeah, it's hurtful when you're going through this. But the fact that you say, okay, I close up and just keep it home, why are you not still searching for like-minded people? Like where in the process did you, through the emotion, did you lose your faith? Because this person whoever did it, stabbed you in the back, took your faith away, and all you did was just close up and shelter yourself away from potential people.
I could answer that. I don't want to answer that for him, but
no, y'all both can answer it because he put you in it.
Yo, when you asking that question though, that's like you're asking why are you not still searching for those needles that are in abundant haystacks? You know what I'm saying? Like those needles exist. There's a lot of hay. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody understand my analogy. Like there's quality people that are still in the world, but there's a lot more people that's not quality.
Again, are you looking for quality? Are you looking for quality or quantity? Because anything quality is going to take a while to get. You're a millionaire. You still chasing that bread, right? Millionaires are needles in a haystack, right?
That's a fact.
Okay, but you're still chasing that bread, right? Exactly.
So that's a good point.
You retreated to something tangible as opposed to sticking to your faith because people out there stole it from you. You could chase money that's needle in the haystack. You can chase the pursuit of having a great unit behind you. Your life will be 10 times better when you have 5 people working on one accord. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
But like Mahogany said, it's about really defining your terms. So yes, you're not going to have a million friends. You're not going to have maybe not even a handful of friends, but the 3 solid friends that you may get out the deal should be enough. And I think that when you define your terms and you put things out there, it would eliminate the wrong people and the right people will gravitate to you. So that's how I operate. I don't have a lot of associates, and it's because I define things from the very beginning. Either I'm a person's cup of tea or I'm not a person's cup of tea. They're my cup of tea. They're not my. You know what I mean? Like because we have an understanding and we're having those discussions ahead of time. We're able to determine whether we can hang or not. So I think that it's really important for people to know who you are so they can determine whether they want to even try to get to know you or or you can ask the right questions to get to know them so you can determine if you want to get to know them. So because when you have those hard conversations up front, when you have those hard conversations up front, it weeds out the bullshit.
Awesome.
It makes it very easy.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Mahogany.
No, I was agreeing with you. Aligning with principles is the key to that. Like once you believe your belief system is 2 different belief systems, y'all really don't speak the same language. So if your understanding of what loyalty and honesty and honor is different than the next person, then if you decide to interact in that way with that person, you got to expect there's a possibility to get stabbed in the back. They don't believe in those principles that you do, so they're not going to move in that space. You're going to move in the space of your beliefs. If you truly believe in loyalty, then your actions are going to be loyal actions. But if you don't, then that's not what's going to show up.
Right. So to Mahogany's point, so I definitely agree with what you're saying. So in retrospect to that, so I believe when people show you their true colors, you got to believe them. because they're going to keep doing it over and over and over again. And if you're around people who continue to do that, then you got to reestablish your principles, which is what I had to do. So honestly, I'm speaking from experience. Been in situations before where I think he, she, whatever the case may be, is in my circle, stab me in the back, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I believe in that that cliche. You fool me once, okay, cool. You fool me twice, it's on me. You understand what I'm saying? It's up to you or up to us to either get out of that situation, because, you know what I'm saying, you stay in that, it's on you. But if that continues to be a problem, you got to reestablish your principles, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I agree with what you guys are saying. But you guys missed one of my points when I pointed over to Drastic and him and I sitting on a table and, you know, and doing things together for, I mean, hours a day, not 5 minutes, not 10 minutes, hours a day. And I consider him my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I not associate. Okay. I don't know how he feels, but I consider him my friend.
I think that's the problem right there.
Yeah, that is the problem. I was just gonna
You
say
should
that.
know how he feels.
No.
You should know how he feels.
No, I feel that him and I are close.
But it's a feeling. What's
It's a
really
feeling. You gotta.
Here's what my problem is. Here's what my problem is I'm the union rep at my job. I deal with 187 drivers. And damned if I do, damned if I don't. Once again, I've never had a problem with Drastic. Never had a problem with Drastic. But, you know, I feel that he's my friend. He's also allowed to have his own feeling. And he truly is. I truly feel that he's my friend. But he walks 2 miles down the road, he might say something different. And I don't know.
but Joe.
Nah, I got mad.
But Joe.
Go ahead.
How could you truly call him your friend if you don't know how he would? You don't know his take on the relationship.
Once again, him and I get along. We speak. We eat together. We break bread together at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and I feel that I'm very, very close to him. I feel.
No. We're not knocking what you feel.
No, we're not saying that you don't. We're not saying that your feelings are not valid.
We're
just
saying that you should have had that discussion about whether y'all friends or not, establishing the friendship with him before you say y'all friends.
All right, I got a question for Jerry and Aziz, because I agree
I
with
think
you,
you
Joe. I
need
see
to
you as a
address.
friend.
Hold on,
yeah,
I think you
I'm
need to
addressing
address Joe first.
Yeah, I am. I'm addressing Joe first. I got love for Joe. I see you as a friend also. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I would never do you foul and nothing like that. But my question to Jerry and Aziz is, how do you have that discussion? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this like third grade conversation? Will you be my friend circle? Yes or no? Like,
Yes
you know
or
what I'm saying? Don't the vibes speak for themselves in certain situations?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Because how
You
could you
establish
truly
your
hold
word.
somebody accountable if you don't have the conversation? So here's Joe, nice guy Joe, thinking that you guys are friends, right? Because you guys eat, you guys break bread together, you guys smile in each other's faces, you guys are just chatting it up and not talking about your friendship or the relationship, right? And what if, you ended up being one of those, like the people that he described, like he can't even hold you to what you agreed to because you guys never had the discussion. Yes, you could belittle it, or you want take it back to third grade. Maybe we talked about the last time. Maybe the kids have it right, but the reality is that if you don't establish your terms, if you don't establish a relationship, then you can't hold each other accountable.
I agree with that.
So yes, you should have the conversation. He shouldn't be like Joe just jumped off the ledge and said, I consider him my friend, and he doesn't really know where you stand, right? You made it clear today that you guys are friends and you see him as a friend, but how long have you guys been breaking bread?
Yeah, I mean, we've addressed each other in those terms in the past, you know what I'm saying, as using the word friend and, things of those sorts. So I guess without having an articulate conversation of, do you want to be my friend? What does that mean to you? You know what I'm saying? What can I hold you accountable to? We haven't had those conversations. What's expected of you? What's expected of me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't understand, like, how far do you take those conversations when you have those conversations?
Okay, let's just make this layman, because I'm the layman guy. Like, The fact that Joe was still in question
Yeah.
says it all.
Mhm.
That's all you need to know to answer your question.
Mhm.
The fact
Absolutely.
that he's walking down the street said, I felt the way. I don't really know how drastic it feels.
Says that y'all didn't. It's
Just,
not
just
understood.
having that discussion, I'm just letting you know children are right about those things.
Mhm.
Right. But
Children want certainty, and we lose that along the way. So what we're saying is, children are right. Yeah, Joe, are you my friend? Please circle yes or no. Yeah, have that discussion.
listen,
Answer your question.
I circle yes, Joe.
Not that.
We just
Simon.
made a friendship here.
Can I chime in?
let me say this to you guys. I got to say this to you guys. My best man at my wedding, okay, that I've known for many, many years. Okay, we circled yes. Okay, and he don't want to be my friend no more for whatever reason. I don't feel that I did anything wrong to him to start acting the way he was acting. But we both circled yes. Okay, he was the best man at my wedding.
But that just goes to show that what Aziz is and Jerry are speaking of works. Because if you two said you're friends, the whole purpose of this conversation is to say that communication is necessary to keep a relationship going. Clear communication. And the fact that you are saying, I don't think I did anything wrong to him, but he doesn't want to be my friend no more, says y'all as so-called friends, y'all have not been communicating.
Right.
You should know why he doesn't want to be your friend. It should be a conversation. He should have enough love and respect for his friend.
Definitely.
To make sure that you understand why he's taking a step back if he still needs to after the communication takes place.
So
And
go ahead, Mahogany. I'm sorry.
And in regard to what you said earlier about the stabbing of the back, what we're speaking of with as far as the situation with you and Drastic, not discussing whether you actually are friends or not, that lack of discussion is what gets you into those spaces. You know what I mean? Because if you're not clear on who someone is to you, you don't know who they are to you. So while you're feeling slighted and stabbed in the back, those people didn't feel like they owed you anything. Y'all had no discussion about what it was, that the terms that you saw fit for you guys. So you could feel that all you want. They are free and not held to the standard that you feel like you're holding them to. Even though you like, oh, they snaked you, they stabbed you in the back, I can guarantee you they don't feel like they did. Y'all didn't have anything in place for them to feel like that.
So to Mahogany's point, and Joe, I'm sorry that happened to you, the best man in your wedding. You know what I'm saying? He not, okay, cool. I get it. That's terrible. That goes back to a point that I tried to make before. So this is my questions to Jerry and Aziz. Do some friendships just have an expiration date?
Absolutely.
Friendships.
And I also want to add to that.
Yeah,
some things end, and there's
No friendship has an expiration date. Let me clearly state.
I'm gonna say okay.
No friendship has an expiration date, but when you're not friends no more, it expired.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Wow.
not looking for that. You're not looking for it.
You go into a friendship clearly
Thinking you're gonna be
saying,
friends forever.
You shouldn't never go into a friendship that you believe has an expiration date. It's not a friendship.
Right.
Agreed.
It's a commitment.
Agreed.
A commitment means that I'm gonna ride with you for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe you deserve a commitment that says that, or you don't believe that you can be that type of person to somebody else, don't sign up for a friendship. Don't sign up for a romantic partnership.
Right.
Be clear in your terms. Like if I'm messing with you, I'm messing with you. So I'm letting you know, like me and you just fool around, that's it. If I just play ball with you, I establish that. You better be for real. Like I'm like, yo, we just play ball, homeboy. Like friends. Like they even say the friend word. I look at them like I just play ball with dude. I don't know his kids. I don't know his, like I'm clear.
I was great to say you better establish that with me, Aziz.
Means that we are in this life together.
Yeah.
It means I'm gonna ride with you, you're gonna ride with me. I'm gonna raise your kids, I'm gonna help your spouse, I'm gonna do everything possible to make sure your life is a lot easier on this earth and you have quality life. So yeah, friendships don't have expiration dates, but when y'all not friends no more, they expire.
So
Agreed.
Joe,
I
can
think
I ask you a
when
question?
Go ahead, bro.
So when he was your best man, right? How long ago? So how long did time pass before y'all communicated?
When he was my best friend, how long what?
So when you got married and he was your best man, because you said y'all don't fool each other no more. How long did it go before y'all like had a conversation or even communicated?
And we conversated all the time. I mean, I went to his house. Wife and I talked. My wife and him talked, and we all got we got together. They came here to my family, my family gathering. And then that was it. That was the end of it, and it hurt. It really hurt from the bottom of my heart. I don't even know how to express how much it hurt.
Yeah, he left.
Did you reach out to him, Joe?
I validated a friendship. I validated in my heart. Okay, and it just disappeared. It just disappeared, like it was a grain of salt. And I tried and I tried and I tried. I went to the house. I tried talking to him, and it almost turned into a fight. So I just walked away. But at that point in time, it was my time to walk away because I didn't want to fight nobody. I didn't want to argue with nobody, and the validation had to stop because I wasn't getting nowhere. He was talking about me to my back. He was talking to me to my face, and and it was just, it was immaturity. Might it have been in my part? I don't know. I can't answer that. But everybody saw it, and I saw it that it was geared towards him. Just leave it on a relationship. As far as
We call
brotherly love.
Yeah, we
Jackson.
call them the soul takers. They leave you in purgatory, don't give you closure, and
Yep.
have you wondering at all times. The worst emotion is wondering why.
Yeah.
Anybody that values you, they're gonna give you a reason why.
That's a fact.
They're gonna give you a reason why because they understand every human being needs that closure. Every human being needs a clear understanding. And sometimes, you walk away because you believe that person has to give you an understanding. Like I've been there where I walked away, I didn't give somebody because that person needs to come to me. When they come to me, because they need to come correct. You know your worth, so you walk off and you're like, yo, when you ready to talk, let's talk. When they come to you, then you get the closure or y'all resume the friendship. But we all go through that. Me and Jerry don't talk for days on end because we go back and forth.
I wouldn't say days on end.
Okay,
I think a day.
it lasts a couple of hours. I mean, we touch
A
base
day.
the next day.
I believe him.
Yeah. We touch base the next day, so I'm wrong. But the point is, we go at it, and I believe that that's what makes our friendship what it is. Our ability to be able to, like what you say, quote unquote, not argue. We embrace the arguments because we have a clear understanding that we're not doing the same thing at the same time every time. But we do need to be on the same page. So we're going to constantly fight. The constant fight is to be on the same page on a daily basis. And that's all it's about.
Yeah, but you're talking about a friendship that's established, though. I believe before you get to that part of getting stabbed in the back or somebody vanishing without an explanation, before you even agree on the terms of your friendship, you need to evaluate who is this person. You know what I'm saying? What is their core values? What is their integrity like? You know what I'm saying? Because they might be agreeing to terms and they might not be the type of person that abides by terms that they agree to. You know what I'm saying? So because they agreed to terms means nothing. Because you're a stand-up person and would give somebody an explanation if you walked away doesn't mean that next person holds those same values. That's why it's important to know who you're dealing with before you know what I'm saying, take it to that level, because two people can't walk together unless they be in agreement. So, and you can't find out whether you're in agreement or not until you first determine whether you share the same core values.
Well, yeah.
Wait. I have agreed. But like, let's use the example of you and Joe. Sorry, because it's an example that we talked about.
What's up, Juice?
Hi, Juice. But anyway, it's really important for two people, especially people that meet at work, to understand why you guys connected to begin with. It starts there, right? So you and Joe connected because you guys are around a lot of shady people, right? If you guys were in any other space, would you guys still be friends? That's number one. I think being honest about why you connected in the first place will determine how far you will go with this acquaintance. Because I know that I meet people at work all the time. We're cool at work. We chat it up. I may even sit down and have lunch with them sometime, but it's not leaving work. Like, that's it. And we understand that we're work friends, we're work buddies, and that's the extent of our relationship. So I think that, yes, Aziz and I have, a 20 plus year relationship, and we've been friends for a really long time.
Maybe a
So
little bit.
yes, we've been doing this dance for a while. But when it's so easy to get caught up when we're meeting other people, because we're looking for those different puzzle pieces to make us whole, right? And you have to really pay attention to where we're meeting these people and why we're meeting these people and why we're connecting with who we're connecting with. You went to college, you go to college, and there's girls up there that you would never date in the city. But because you're away at school, they look good. So you dating them. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with people at work. It's the same thing, in small spaces. Like, you start to look at your options. You're like, oh, that's not a bad option here. But anywhere else, it probably wouldn't be. And I'm not saying that that's the case for you and Joe, but I do think that you and Joe should really have that conversation on what's connecting you guys to begin with. Is it all the negativity around you? Or is it because you guys, despite all the negativity around you, you guys have something in common outside of the shady people at work? So I think that's where it starts.
And I think the small thing to answer drastic, I just make it very simple. Why are you friends if you don't know core values?
Yeah, that's
we're talking about people that are establishing saying we are friends, not people who are seeing if you can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a dating process with friends too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So if you're like you're gonna invest in something blindly, like with your bread.
Mm-hmm.
So think every time, because I always go back to money because you said you're chasing that bread. So what I'm saying is, if
I like to keep that on the low though.
Money, if you're not gonna do that with money, think about that.
Yeah.
Why would you do that with your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Your life support. Like, why? So yeah, you're gonna invest in somebody that you believe in. Are they necessarily gonna be everything you said they are? Maybe, maybe not. You get what I'm saying? But that's what the investment is. Like, a relationship is just a lifelong investment. That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all it is. You can't even say you're gonna wake up every day and be that same person.
Yep.
So what you have to have an understanding is you wake up every day to be that same person.
Absolutely.
You have to establish who you are first. You got to establish your relationship terms. You have to establish exactly what you're buying into and wake up every day maintaining that. Then we had a discussion. Everybody's talking about growth in a relationship. Once the relationship is there, you're trying to maintain it because there's too many factors trying to keep you from maintaining that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to just maintain it. So you wake up every day, don't sign a contract you're not willing to sign up for a lifetime. Just like I'm the godfather of Jerry's child, right? I signed up. I show up every day since then. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have signed that contract if I wasn't ready. You better believe that. There's some people I'll be like, yo, you real cool. I don't have time for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's too many people that occupy my time. I can't give you the amount of time necessary for us to really forge a strong relationship. And it has nothing to do with them. They just showed up at the wrong time.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep.
Hey, you have to be clear on what you have to give. You have to be clear on everything that you go about, what you go about doing, but you can't live in fear. What y'all talking about is the what ifs. I can't keep on checking the what ifs. I can check what is. What's in front of me is this person upstanding, looking like they dope, looking like this. They look like we're in it for the long haul. I'm making them my friend. Can we both agree that this is what we're going to put in for a lifetime? Yeah, we both agree. Shake hands, give a hug, and y'all walking through life together. That's all you need.
Just to be clear, all your friends, what you consider friends, you've already had this conversation with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Clearly.
If you guys don't mind me asking, how long has this group been together?
What do you mean group as far as what?
Online chat.
Oh, since the virus really hit.
March.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been here since March, but I've known Aziz since I was a freshman in college.
No, he's talking about just the chat.
Oh, yeah, just like March.
Going down memory lane.
Yeah, they was already doing a podcast prior to this though, and they got mad discussions out there.
So yeah, we were podcasting originally, and then once they shut down the studio,
we're still podcasting.
Well, we are still podcasting, sorry. But once they shut down once the studio was shut down and we had to kind of transition, we decided to go live every Monday so that we can have these discussions about relationships online live. So we still have podcasts, so you can check that out as well.
Okay, I want a relationship with this chat line right here because I'm enjoying myself. In traffic, I am so mad at you that you're just introduced. You didn't even introduce me. I seen you on Pop Goes the Weasel. It's real. Yeah, I love it. And
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. It's because y'all don't even know if y'all friends yet. That's why he didn't invite you.
Last show. It's my last. See how you broke with me, man? This is my last show. You don't cut me off, man.
You gotta show up every week now.
Yeah, we're gonna hold you to that, Joe.
Yeah, we want everybody to show up. We constantly have these discussions. I mean, we went a minute over, so we wanna really have these discussions and continue to have them. I mean, every month.
Yeah, this is another goodie.
9:00. We're gonna keep on diving in, and we're gonna keep on listening to everybody's feedback, and really let's have these discussions because we really want everybody to have meaningful relationships and stop being politicians in relationships. Like we're taught to be political, but relationships mean that you take off you're raw as can be, you show up with everything you are, and they still love you for it.
Absolutely, they're not tolerating you.
So have the discussion, Drastic and Joe. Figure out that friendship, see if it's for real. Have those discussions. Circle yes or no.
Or maybe.
No or maybe.
Mahogany, as usual, it's always dope.
Thank you for having me again.
Darrell, thanks for actually showing up and talking a little more.
Yes, I appreciate that, Darrell. He got company, that's why.
Hold on, what happened? What you say?
I said you got company, that's why you're showing out.
Oh, that was obvious?
You know what I mean? Juice, Queen, everybody that showed up,
Emily,
showing up, talking
Jessica.
Explain to them that, we're here for y'all. And if y'all more private, we got relationship building services. Go to AccountableLove.com.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But
if you want to, and once this is all over and we don't have these anymore, we'll be offering group sessions just like this on our website as well. It's a fee, but you could check that out as well.
I appreciate you having me on.
Bring it on. And I'm gonna text y'all, give you my number. So when y'all do move, because I don't do the online thing. Like I seen Draft's name. And I said, it's on. I got some things to say.
Mahogany's face.
Right.
I mean, inbox us, let us know what's going on, man. We have your email information, so you'll be getting all the feeds. Everybody will be getting
email notification.
Y'all be getting
I look forward to it every week, man. Every Monday, I look forward to it. I really do.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Right, we appreciate you too, Darrell.
No.
I appreciate y'all.
Blessings, y'all. We love y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, y'all.
All right, everyone have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, guys.